Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Time now for the Business Beat. Join your host, Ralph White, along with his co-hosts, Leanne Farmer, Bonnie Landau, and Mary Mollenhoff, and their guests. Business Beat, keeping their finger on the pulse of business to increase the flow of profit. Here now is your host, Ralph White, and the Business Beat.
Welcome. This is Ralph White, and I'm here today with Mary Mollenhoff.
Hi, Ralph.
How are you today, Mary?
Good, thanks.
Excellent, excellent. So we're here to talk about making profits and work with one of our clients who's on the phone, Dave Donaldson. And Dave Donaldson is the owner of the Beachfire Restaurants in Ladera Heights and also in San Clemente. Dave, are you on the phone?
I am indeed, Ralph.
Welcome to the show. We're delighted to have you with us. And we're talking today about managing your business by the numbers, Dave. And I know that you're a professional at doing that, in owning a restaurant. How long have you been in the restaurant business, Dave?
31 years.
Wow, that's a big number. Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes. So you undoubtedly learned a lot of things about managing restaurants in that time frame and how important it is. How long have you been using? We want to talk to our listeners about how important numbers are, because we know that a lot of people, don't even like numbers in their business. That they're like, oh my gosh, I'd just as soon run my business without the numbers if I could. But I know that you've been very involved in it, and you use the numbers a lot. But tell us a little bit about how long you've done it, a little bit about your restaurants and what you're up to.
Okay, Ralph. Thank you for having me. It's funny having that many years in the restaurant business. It wasn't until 17 years ago that I started with a company that really was focused on the numbers, and I received great training from Chart House Restaurants back in the 90s. And yet previous to that, I had worked as an employee for, 15 years or so in the business without ever having had my management or leadership really involve me in the numbers in any way, even if I was a waiter or a head waiter and that kind of thing. And clearly we have learned from that and operate in a different way. So Chart House provided me with some great training, and then 8 years ago I opened my first restaurant. But given the training and the emphasis that I had received previously, I had a very strong business plan going in. 2 years before I opened my first place, I had a pro forma on what I was going to do. I had an extensive business plan, and fortunately, I have been able to train my team and my larger team in numbers and knowing where we should be and where we are at all times. And we have been quite, I hate to use the word, but we've been quite religious about how we have maintained that. And we have never let go of our emphasis on the numbers. Through 8 years of having the business open, I can ask any of my managers at any time what we did yesterday in sales, what we spent in labor yesterday, what our budget was, what we did last month, what we did last year, what we're expected to do tomorrow, next month, and next year. And without it, I really have no idea how a business could be run. And in the restaurant business, I consult with various people, and so many restaurateurs that get into trouble are running their business out of a checkbook. They might be using QuickBooks and might be entering invoices and such, but they're not being disciplined about the daily numbers. And I'm fortunate to be in a business where I can produce daily numbers, yet not all restaurants do. And all of our invoices are entered every day. Our labor is entered every day. I can dial in from anywhere I have an internet connection and see what's happening in any of the 3 restaurants that I have, and we don't let it fall out of place. It's like breathing for us. It's what we do when you walk in the door as a manager. The first thing that our management does is check where we are for the day, the month, and where we're going for the future. So it really is the backbone of what we do.
Excellent. And I like the fact that you started out with a plan, and you're working to a plan, and you're constantly checking and measuring to that plan. I find that a lot of businesses don't have a plan, and they're sort of flying blind and just sort of letting the circumstances determine where they're going. And I actually remember, a conversation I had with you before you started where, did your plan start out with making a profit?
No, it did not.
I remember the conversation. I asked you if that was a requirement that I think you said you were going to lose money for the first 6 months or a year, and then you were going to make a profit. And I asked if that was a requirement, and you said no, and then you changed your plan. And didn't you start out, I think you broke even the first month and then started making a profit right after that?
Actually, we started with a healthy profit right out of the gate, first month.
Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent. And that's a result of planning for it. That's a result of creating it. By using the numbers, you're actually creating your future based on what you're planning for. You're not measuring. I want to emphasize to our listeners that Dave's not measuring the past. He's creating the future because he has a plan. He's just he's using the numbers to check on how he is doing according to his plan, and then putting in the corrections. That is constantly sort of like a airplane flying from LAX to Hawaii. The computer is constantly checking to see how are we doing, and then correcting the path. And have you ever gotten off path, Dave?
Yes. I have. I actually, right now, with the restaurant business being quite challenging, as most businesses are, I do have one restaurant that this winter is not making money, and it's very confronting. One of the things about producing the numbers and the plan is you really are confronted with your ability to do what you said you were going to do, and it can be a bit of a challenge. And one of my ongoing challenges in relation to the numbers is how I personally relate to them. And I think some people don't look at their numbers because they're afraid what they're going to see, and it's really easy to be a reaction when the numbers aren't where they should be. And through my 8 years of having my own company, I'm constantly confronted with that. But it does drive me, and it really does inform me on where we need to go. I do see a lot of businesses, and I see it with some of my managers when we'll get a little off track. I'll stop hearing as much. I won't get the reports in the same way I do in summer when they're making lots of money. And that's where me as the owner and the leader of the team, I really have to keep the numbers up front and really keep that. It's a confronting, it's a challenge, and that's what we need to do is challenge ourselves and make certain we're in the right direction.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. So for anyone out there who's listening who doesn't really understand the restaurant business, maybe you could give an example of how you've actually used the numbers to change something that improved your business. Could you give us anything?
Yeah, oh gosh, I could go on for hours about that. Absolutely. One of the biggest areas for us is in cost of goods. All businesses have a cost of goods concern, and for us, we have food, liquor, and wine, and prices change, commodities change, people's buying habits change, and such. And by knowing your cost of goods at all times, then you can better react and make decisions And right now, in fact, we are working on a new menu, and much of what's driving our menu is our customer preferences, which we know because we follow the numbers, as well as we're in a time of great price changes, and there's deflation in some areas, there's inflation in others. So as we reconstruct our menu and put a new menu in, we're able to better add value based upon seeing what people want and seeing what's happening with our cost of goods. And so I can weigh a decision on whether I should put a menu item, essentially a new product, out there or not. It might be a wonderful product, but if it's not going to be able to make money at the price point that my consumer is looking for, then I shouldn't put it on. And so the numbers really help with that. And labor is the biggest expense in the restaurant and the most easily affected one way or the other. And you know, weather can give you a trend, and we are able to respond more quickly when we're clear on what we did last night in sales, where the trend is, what we spent in labor, and we can make those adjustments on a daily basis, and we do that constantly. It's a never-ending effort.
So you have a very quick reaction time, so you know where you're at, you have the ability to respond, make adjustments, make changes. You know, when people don't do their books, I mean, I can speak for myself. Back many years ago, I would get my year-end before I had a computer, I didn't do my monthly financials, and I would get my yearly income tax and financials something like June of the following year, and my accountant would say, okay, last year you made X amount of money and owe X amount of tax. And when I got a computer system and started getting monthly financials, I didn't even know what to do with them. I mean, it was really quite a change. And so it's really, you know, it's adjusting and being able to keep track of it and relate to them and get them, like you said, on a very current, up-to-date basis, because having them too, late doesn't give you any access to making changes based on them. Correct.
And when we do get off our target is when we are not being as disciplined about the numbers. And in our company, we have the system set up where the numbers are always there, yet how we relate to them is what can be a challenge. So I can't imagine how a company could operate without the numbers at all. And then when you do have the numbers, then you are faced with a whole different way of having to be about the numbers. So there is a discipline in it, and I can tell with my team when they are not focused on it just by the way that they're speaking. And when we let it get away and we put down the numbers every day, we have the systems, but if we're not really embracing them and not really digging in, we all get busy. It can be easy to overlook that, especially when things may not be going in the direction that you want. But that, of course, is the time to look more than ever. And we are doing that. I had a meeting this morning with my general manager of the restaurant that is not making money. It's a golf course restaurant. It made money last year and will make money this year, but in winter months right now, it's not, and we're addressing that. But I'm really having to pull my management team there back into the game of really looking at the numbers. They tend to get busy out there doing the stuff they think they need to do, rather than using the numbers to truly inform them. They're going more off of their feeling and their gut, and, well, we can drive sales by adding this item, cutting this other thing, whatever it is, instead of really sitting down and facing those numbers and spending a few hours a week tearing apart what exactly is going on in your restaurant.
Yeah, you're pointing to the most entrepreneurs are salespeople. They like to sell, and they go to that solution like, I'll sell my way out of this problem. I'm not making money. I'll sell my way out of it. But you can actually, if you're not making a profit on what you're selling, which you pointed to on your menu, if you're not making a profit on what you're selling, you can actually sell yourself into a bigger hole. So it's really tracking and being able to determine that you are making a profit and how much profit. It's like I was talking to a client on Tuesday, and last year just the company had 2 different divisions, and they had a new manager that they hired last year, and that manager basically decided he didn't like one of the divisions and basically just backed off on that division, put all the attention on the other division, and they lost money, about $300,000 last year. After they analyzed it, now they've determined that the division they backed off on was paying their overhead, and the other division was bringing in the profit. So basically the loss was a result of backing off on one division of the company, and the decision was made not by the numbers, just by the fact that didn't like that kind of business, that piece of business. And they were focusing on lower margin business and putting a lot more effort into it to basically work harder to make less money. So it's really, being able to identify where the money's coming from and paying attention to it. And I think I look at it as like knowing the numbers is one of the classes that you have to take in the School of Business. And if there's a number of classes that, in owning a business that you're going to have to go through. One of them is the class of losing money. And, virtually every business owner has to go through that class. One of them is a class of recognizing how important the numbers are. And if you haven't been through those classes, they're on the curriculum. Somewhere along the line, you're going to experience it. And, would you agree with that, Dave?
I would absolutely agree with that, and I've had it happen in my own company where I didn't relate to one of my restaurants as well as the other 2, and sure enough, after a few months, actually over a course of a year or so, I look over my shoulder and see that there has been a gradual decline in that one restaurant, and I have since personally embraced it and turned it into our most profitable restaurant now. And it was a real lesson to me, and thank God that I got the lesson before it was too late.
Yeah, you were able to recognize it, because you have the systems in place. It's a challenge being an entrepreneur. You can't win this game doing one thing really well. You can't be extraordinary at sales and win the game. You have to do many things well. So you have to be able to manage the numbers. You have to be able to manage the sales. You have to be able to collect the money. You have to be able to manage the people. And if you can't do it yourself, you have to have other people that can do it for you, and then you have to be able to manage them. And you've got to have a good team. You got to have the right people on the bus sitting in the right seats in order to have a successful, well-running business. And that's a challenge. It's something that you've got to learn to do, in that School of Business. So we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, Dave's going to tell us more about his business and how we can go and have a great meal at one of his restaurants. We'll be right back.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Making it perfect or nothing else is the company culture at Goldbrecht USA, a premier luxury window and door manufacturer. Doing business since 1889, every window and door is made with old-world craftsmanship and the finest materials, meticulous design, sleek finishing, and a commitment to the environment. They even use environmentally friendly transportation. Made in Germany, available in the U.S., Goldbrecht USA is located in Santa Monica, California. For the world's best windows and doors, visit www.goldbrechtusa.com or call now at 310-393-5540. That's 310-393-5540.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
Put a little light in your life and keep it shining with Intellectric.net, a full-service lighting design company. If you need a top electrical contracting firm to deal with all facets of electrical, from concept to completion, including repair, call Intellectric.net at 310-838-5486. They can use green technology. They are home automation specialists, and they are high-end residential specialists. With prompt and efficient service, Intellectric.net has over 10 trucks, 28 employees, and on-call electricians available to handle your needs. Educated in state-of-the-art techniques and technology for all your electrical needs. Call dependable, innovative Intellectric.net today at 310-838-5486. Keep your light shining. Call 310-838-5486 or visit online at Intellectric.net.
HealthyLife.net for healthy side effects.
Okay, welcome back. This is the Business Beat, and this is Ralph White, and I'm here with Mary Mullenhoff, my co-host, and we're talking to Dave Donaldson from Beachfire Restaurants in San Clemente and Ladera Heights. Dave, you've got 4 different opportunities to do business with you, and I believe you got 3 restaurants and a catering business.
Correct. Correct. Yes, I have the 2 beach fires. There's a beach fire in downtown San Clemente and another beach fire. It's actually Ladera Ranch, which is near Mission Viejo in South Orange County. And then we have Irons in the Fire, which is at the San Clemente Municipal Golf Course, which we've had just over 2 years. And that is a complete wedding and special event facility with golf course and ocean views. And then we do have
what a great name.
Catering program and do events from 10 guests to 2,000 guests and more. And so we're able to meet a lot of various needs, and that's really helped us out quite a bit in this market these days. And so a beach fire, we are a lifestyle company as much as anything. We're all about celebrating the Southern California lifestyle and coastal cuisine. We have a variety, an eclectic menu that has everything from Caribbean, Hawaiian, Mexican, Japanese. We fuse all kinds of different foods. And we also have nightly entertainment. We have a vibrant, experienced staff that really our biggest talent, I believe, is connecting with people. And we believe that our food and service has to be impeccable. Our delivery needs to be as sharp as it can be, yet in a casual Southern California atmosphere. And I think we accomplished that pretty well. And we look forward to more growth. And one of the things that I've been emphasizing more and more in this day when restaurants are taking some shortcuts and such, at Beachfire we have not changed our quality in the least, and we don't even have microwaves. We make all of our sauces from scratch. We hand carve our steaks. We cut our fresh fish 7 days a week, and we haven't taken some of the moves that other people have, and I'm quite proud of that, and I think that's what's given us staying power through this time.
You also have art. I've been in your restaurant, so you've also got art on the walls, as well as the entertainment. So you've the art's for sale. So you've got a very diverse, very unique atmosphere. So you're really selling an experience, as opposed to just food and alcohol.
Very, very much so, and it's a community experience. And we do have now over 1,200 pieces of art that are either hanging or are cataloged, and I have a full-time curator and an assistant who do this, and we're a unique restaurant company in having that, and it really has added amazing value to the community experience. And so with the art, the entertainment, the food creativity, our approach and how we approach our menu, we don't have just one chef. We have a team of chefs, and we have even our guests submit recipes when we're working on a new menu development right now, and we're requesting recipes from our guests and such. And the reaction you get with that is a ton of fun. And so it truly is a community experience, and one that I'm quite proud of.
Yeah. I want to emphasize for our listeners that even if you don't own a restaurant, you want to listen to where Dave is coming from. He's getting his customers involved in his business. He's getting his community involved in his business. He's looking at his business bigger than just a restaurant that's selling a particular product. He's created an environment as opposed to a restaurant. He's selling an experience as opposed to a product. So it's a different way of operating. He's distinguished himself in the marketplace by how he's designed his business. So he doesn't really have competition. I mean, there's restaurants right across, in the very close to you or across the street, aren't they, Dave?
Yes, there certainly are.
Yeah.
They're colleagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're colleagues. You can't, by what you've done, even though there's people selling the same bottles of alcohol or the same pieces of meat possibly right across the street, you can't buy the same experience anywhere else than one of your restaurants. So it's like, going to one of your restaurants, there's a piece of the company, there's a piece that goes along with the experience, or that goes along with the meal. And that's, I think, is something that people should, listen to and hear. It's like, how do I do that in my business? Whether I'm selling copy machine, paper or toner, or how do I differentiate myself from my competition as opposed to compete on just price? I think you've done an excellent job of both managing your business by the numbers and creating yourself as a unique, differentiated company from your competition, so that you really have no competition.
Well, and also I think that quality issue is huge too, because I can give an example. A friend of mine eats out pretty much every single night and was very much a fan of this one particular restaurant, and then they changed the chef, and the new chef wasn't doing things the same way the old chef did it, and he just stopped going. And recently, I guess that happened for about a year, and recently they went ahead and hired yet another chef who I guess had some kind of track record and renown and all that, and so now they're back. But it's interesting how that, as soon as, I think they had one bad meal and stopped going.
Yeah.
And they had been going there for 4 or 5 years. So the quality piece is really, really important.
It definitely is, and that can be measured through numbers as well. It really can, through your repeat customers, through your charge tip percentage, in our case, basically an indicator of your effectiveness and your interaction with your people. And so the numbers can be used in so many different ways, and I would think that with any business that the numbers can be used in such a great variety of ways. We all have the same concerns, from sales to bottom line and everything in between, and they all are a measurement of your performance.
Yeah, I like the fact that you use your servers, their tip percentage to determine the quality of the service.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, if they're making more money, they're giving better service, that's excellent. So you have conversations with people. If their tips are going down, there's something obviously wrong with their service. I think that's outstanding. It's basically saying, we want everybody working here to make money, and if you're not, there's a problem. So you really treat everyone there as if they're in business for themselves, don't you, Dave?
get a 5-table business that they didn't have to pay for, but they can come in and operate.
Excellent. You pay the overhead, you pay the rent, you pay everything, and they just get to deliver the product and pick up the tips and give great service.
Yes,
So-
and it shows up quite quickly what server, even at an age of 22, is focused on the numbers and which isn't. And the better performers are invariably those who are focused on their numbers.
Excellent. So if someone wanted to come to one of your restaurants, how would they find you? What's your website?
Well, beachfire.com. I'm proud of our website. It's a community portal as well and has information on all 3 restaurants in our catering program. And we update that site daily. It's been quite effective. So beachfire.com. And then I'm Dave Donaldson, and I can be reached personally at my Ladera Ranch office at 949-542-7700. And part of my driving community is I'm always happy to speak to people and consult with people, and I do it, and I feel it benefits my business. I always learn. It furthers my reputation, and I really enjoy helping people.
Great. Excellent. So Dave, thank you very, very much for being on the show. Thank you for sharing the information you have with our listeners. I'm sure that it was very beneficial to them, and I invite them to use it and grow their businesses and be as successful as you are. Have a great day, Dave.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
All right. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Imagine Possibilities Unlimited. Well, they're here, and they want to help your business. Possibilities Unlimited offers the best business consulting and coaching that provides incredible results. Ralph White and his team of experts bring a variety of experience and expertise to your business. Discover how their whole life matrix can positively affect your personal and business life. Focusing on key challenges, they'll devise a customized plan and give you the support you need every step of the way until you achieve your intended results. Call Possibilities Unlimited today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538. No business is too big or too small. Possibilities Unlimited can help them all. Call now at 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
Oh man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Call now at 1-800-555-5453 if you have a question about business. And now back to the Business Beat. Here's your host, Ralph White.
Welcome back. This is Ralph White, and here with Mary Mullenhoff. And we just finished completing with Dave Donaldson from the Beachfire Restaurants. And I think that was very interesting in pointing out the value of, managing your business by the numbers.
And it made me hungry.
Yes, he's got great food. Great food.
When he was describing making all these sauces from scratch, I was just visualizing, nice little steak and a little sauce on it.
Made it very, very real.
Yeah.
So, but thank you very much, Dave, for being on the show. And so I want to talk about sales. I know we emphasize sales. We have programs on sales. We talk a lot about sales. And I've had someone send in an email and said, why are you always talking about sales? And the answer to that question is sales is everything in a business. With no sales, there's no business. And I really, look at a business that everyone in a business is involved in sales. Everyone contributes to sales. Every job in the company in some way impacts sales. And really, to have a successful organization, you really need to look at it that way. I was talking to a company this morning and was speaking to 4 people, and they have a project that they're working on. And they were saying, well, it's a big project and the 4 of us have to produce it, and how difficult it was going to be. And then I asked them, I said, well, who's your team? And they said, well, the team's the 4 of us. And I said, well, really, it can't be the 4 of you. I says, how many people are coming to the event? And they said there's about 140,000 people coming to the event. And they said, well, there's this other part of it that about 60,000 people are coming. And I said, well, if you've got 200,000 people coming, plus the people that are going to be putting on the event, and plus the people that are putting on the food, plus the UPS driver, plus the postal service, plus the people that are going to do the accounting. I says, you probably got 300,000-400,000 people that you've got to manage to put on this event. And I heard this dead silence on the other side of the phone, and they were like, oh my God, it's like they hadn't realized how big of a team they needed to create. But really, when you have a company, you need to create a sales team of everybody, contributing to growing the company, producing that result. And that's the reason that we focus on, sales in a company.
Yeah, the other thing I'm finding is that with even salespeople who are, quote unquote, great salespeople, the secret of their success is the fact that they're always getting coaching. They're always improving. They're constantly, sharpening the saw,
right,
and getting those what do you call it, tools,
right,
skills. A lot of it is tool and a lot of it is skill, and one of the skills is listening, and then listening for concerns, and then what are those concerns and how are they changing because of our economy, changing because people might think price is an issue, but maybe it's not really, maybe something else is. And just skills and learning how to ask the right questions so that what the issues really are. So as and understand somebody, they're more likely to buy from you.
Right.
And so I think that those types of things, people start losing sight of it when they hear, the horrible stories about what's happening to our economy, and they could get sucked into it, and that could become their story.
Definitely. So the first law of performance is how people perform correlates to how the situation occurs to them. And the reason that, a salesperson would want to work with a coach is because a coach can help shape and help you, redefine how the situation occurs for you. Because you're pointing to, if it occurs like nobody's buying, nobody wants my product, I have no leads or opportunities, your actions will be in a correlate with that. You won't make calls. You'll not want to go to work. Or if you do go to work, you'll just go through the motions. You won't have that extra boost. You won't have that extra enthusiasm that will produce the result. And if in a conversation, sales occur in a conversation, but in a conversation with a coach, if that coach can help redirect or reframe how the situation occurs to where you see possibility, and it has to be a possibility that you can believe in, that has a thread of reality to it. It can't be just a, well, why don't you just believe that there's $1 million worth of sales out there? You have to see, like the light has to go on to where you see that possibility. And when you can see that possibility and then determine, working with the coach, determine actions that you can take to access it. That's what a coach helps you do. That's what our programs, like the speed sales that we've got coming up next week.
Yeah, and the sales to win. There's the sales to win course, and then the speed sales, sort of a prerequisite for for the course, because what it allows you to do is basically try your, it's like speed dating.
Right.
Allows you to take your, give you a little pitch, or 5-minute or 3-minute pitch to someone, and actually get some really good feedback on it. Would you buy that? Would you buy that product if you were in need of it? Or even if you weren't in need of it, did it make it sound so good that you wanted to buy it anyway? And so having an opportunity at an event like this one is going to be great. And that's Thursday, March 18th. Right. From 5 to 7:30 at LAX Coastal Chamber office in Sepulveda. And for those who want to, get more information on it, they could contact Christina Davis at info@laxcoastal.com. And it should be a really, really fun event, and also really educational. And then, pretty much a precursor to setting up our Sales to Win course.
Right. And the advantage of this speed sales course is that we rarely get feedback as salespeople. You go out, you make a presentation, you make a sale, you go home and you celebrate it. You can say, okay, now I know how to do it. Then you go out the next week, you make what you think is the same presentation, and they don't buy. And then you're like, whoa, what did I do differently? And then, but you don't know. You think you did the same thing. One time it worked, one time it didn't. With this, you're going to get feedback from somebody to where they can say, this is what I heard, this is what I didn't hear, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. So it's really, normally, you will never get that from a customer. A customer won't say, well, I didn't buy it because, you didn't tell me what the price was.
Yeah, and, I've had situations where somebody's trying to sell me something, and my eyes become glossed over. Like, they've lost me after the first 2 or 3, ideas that they threw at me, and they don't read that. Right. They don't read it at all. They don't read that maybe they need to go back, or, something. And I always sit there and I go, I wonder why they're even still doing this. Right. It's sort of the definition of insanity.
Right. They've lost the audience.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so we're going to take a break, and we definitely don't want to lose you. So we want you to come back after the break, and we'll be right back.
There are 3 wise women at Possibilities Unlimited, and if you want to improve your business's bottom line, you'll want to get to know them, because they want to help you with your business, and they can. Wise web woman Bonnie Landau will help make your website the best it can be. She'll help you with all web-related things, including social media. Wise marketing woman Mary Mullinoff wields her magic to find and obtain sales leads for you, and she'll help you identify and qualify prospects. Leanne Farmer, wise work life woman, hones your customer relations, communications, and sales skills as she teaches you how to manage your work and life in balance. There are options of coaching with one or all 3 wise women. Get to know them now. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538, or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Demystify the world of social marketing and get it to work for you. You can maximize your market potential in sales, and Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited can help. Discover how to use Twitter, LinkedIn, and more to market your business. Learn how to expand your prospect base, improve your web presence, but more importantly, get results. Your possibilities are unlimited. Social networking can impact your bottom line in a positive way. Find out how with Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited. Call today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com, consulting2win.com.
Do you own your own business? What would happen if your computer system crashed? Would you be able to recover in a reasonable amount of time? Left Brain Tech's computer services caters to business owners who want reliable computer systems that work and are backed up in case of emergency. For your entire computer needs, call 888-239-2216 or visit leftbraintechs.com. IT solutions done right with Left Brain Techs. That's 888-239-2216 or leftbraintechs.com.
All positive talk with a mature edge. HealthyLife.net.
Keeping a finger on the pulse of business to increase the flow of profit. Here's Business Beat with your host, Ralph White.
Welcome back. I'm here with Mary Mullenhoff, and we're talking about sales. We were talking before about our speed sales course, which is coming up on, March the 18th at 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the LA Coastal Chamber office at 9100 South Sepulveda Boulevard. And you can sign up for that at info@laxcoastal.com. And I just remembered that we have this afternoon, we have a conference call for Sales to Win, and it's no charge. It's actually...
Oh, yeah, it's free.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that first. It's at 3 p.m., and you can be on that call if you're interested. And we're talking about Sales to Win and how to cause a breakthrough in your sales. And you can be on that call by sending an email to info@consulting2win.com. That's info@consulting2win.com. And that's going to be looking at creating the number that you're going to you're going to have in sales for this year. And we're looking at, what is it that you're confronted by, and how are you going to, access, bigger sales? What's stopping you, and how are you going to get over it? How are you going to get past it?
Yeah, and I think it's also going to give you kind of like a day in the life or a slice of what it's like to work with a coach, to have somebody personally coaching you and helping you improve all those things. Like, for example, some of the people who have participated and been part of Sales to Win and coaching in general have said things like, Bonnie of Landau Design has credited working with Possibilities Unlimited for increasing their growth over the last 2 years by 300%, despite the downturn in the economy.
Right.
I mean, how many businesses can say that?
Yeah.
And especially, we can go on and on. We're going to talk about Jeff Walker from Super D said the same thing about the last year. And so there are clearly benefits of working with a coach, and they're just things that could be happening that unless you could step outside of yourself and be able to see yourself objectively, you can't really improve upon them yourself.
Right.
You really kind of need an outside third party who's on your side, in your corner, to help you see that.
Yeah, the advantage is, I often ask people questions like I was talking to a gentleman last night, and he was looking at a project. His sales were down. I haven't worked with him for about 5 years. He called me 2 weeks ago. He said, my sales are down. I need help. I want to coach with you again. I said, great, let's get started. I give him some homework to do last week. I said, okay, spend 10 hours this week in sales. I said, first I asked him, how much time are you spending in sales? And he said, really? And I said, yes. That's the answer to the question is, give me an honest answer. And he said, maybe a half an hour a week. I said, well, this week spend 10 hours, no less than 10 hours. Well, he come back in a week and he quoted something like $100,000 worth of work. And
wow.
Yeah, in a week. And he had no quotes the week before, nothing in the pipeline. but he quoted $100,000 worth of work, and then he had this project that was like a $200,000 project that he's going to quote this week. And we're talking about it, and he's saying the client is in a big hurry for it, and it's going to cost $200,000. And I said, well, how long is it going to take? And he said, well, it could take a couple of months to deliver it. And I said, well, could you deliver? I said, how big of a hurry are they in? And he said, they're in a real hurry. I said, could you deliver it in a month? And he said, well, if with a little extra money. I said, well, how about $120,000, or excuse me, $220,000, and you give it to him in a month? And he said, I could do that. I said, great. He says, that would make me a lot more profit. I said, well, that'll take care of my coaching fees for a while. And he says, that sounds good. I told him, I says, working with a coach, I look at it, it's not an expense, it's an asset. I have one of my clients that say that I'm the cheapest employee that she has. I've worked with her for about 10, 12 years. And, I'm committed to the same thing she is. And I don't ask for, a percentage of the profits when she gets them. So it's really, having someone in your corner is, committed to you, looking for, stretching you, pressing you beyond what you can see, asking you, well, how about a little bit more for you? We tend to like shortchange ourselves, and the coach will be constantly pressing, beyond what you can see as possible, because they're not in the circumstances. And because they're willing to ask for a little bit more, and then you shift how you're looking at it, and you say, well, yeah, I could do that. And then all of a sudden you have a new reality. And that's where the bigger sale happens.
Yeah, and also I think one of the things that coaching helps with as well is incorporating more teamwork too, because I think sometimes people in a sales position feel like, it's their number, their target list, their whatever, and they go at it alone. Whereas if you really look at an organization, at a firm, at a business, all of the resources and assets that they have available, you have to bring with you. That's your calling card. Those are the business assets.
Exactly.
And when you work with a coach knows everything about your business. And so that really allows you to be able to use, kind of expand the amount of experience you have when you go out into the sales, into the selling mode, and it makes you more valuable to somebody who's going to buy.
Right. And it gives you a partner that's not asking for credit.
Right.
It's like somebody that, so you got a team, you got a partner, you got somebody that, when you win, it's your win, and they celebrate it with you, but you get the credit, you get the commission, you get the bonus, and the coach is in your corner, rooting for you. So the opportunities of working with us are this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Send an email in to info@consultingtowin.com. Next week on March the 18th at the LA Coastal Chamber office at 9100 South Sepulveda Boulevard, and that's send an email to info@laxcoastal.com. And then we've got the Sales to Win course coming up on, let's see, what day does that come up?
I think it's the 23rd.
Is it on October?
No, it's not. It's in March. I think it's the 3rd week of March. And let's just get to it here really quick.
Okay, well, she's checking that.
We had it figured out. Yeah, I believe it's the 23rd.
The 23rd.
Tuesday, March 23rd.
Tuesday, March 23rd. That would be the starting of our next Sales to Win course. So those are opportunities where we'll support you in making more sales happen in your business and building your sales team. So, okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a bit.
Making it perfect or nothing else is the company culture at Goldbrecht USA, a premier luxury window and door manufacturer. Doing business since 1889, every window and door is made with old-world craftsmanship and the finest materials, meticulous design, sleek finishing, and a commitment to the environment. They even use environmentally friendly transportation. Made in Germany, available in the U.S., Goldbrecht USA is located in Santa Monica, California. For the world's best windows and doors, visit www.goldbrechtusa.com or call now at 310-393-5540. That's 310-393-5540. Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now, you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
Uplifting Talk. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. All right, Mary. Well, we've come to the end of another show.
Aww, that was so much fun.
Yes. Are you still hungry from talking with Dave
Oh,
Donaldson?
yeah. Well, so I'm going to go right down. Well, it's a little far away from here, but can we get him to open up an office in the South Bay?
I even found a place where he could, and he's like thinking about it, but he's not ready yet.
All
so,
right.
But soon we'll have a beach fire here in Southern California. So, all right. So the play for this week is going to be create a sales number for your company for this year that's beyond what's predictable, is beyond what you know how to do. Create that number that you're willing to commit to and take action on to make it happen. Send me the number at ralph@consultingtowin.com. That's Ralph, R-A-L-P-H, at consultingtowin.com. And then begin to work on a business plan to make that number happen. That's your play for the week. So we want to thank you for tuning in today. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back next week with another guest and more opportunities to be coached. In the meantime, have an extraordinary week. Thank you.